All right, Jeremy, I know that Oklahoma State has a home game against Kansas State this weekend, and we will talk about football in just a second. However, the winter sports are starting, and that means wrestling and basketball. An impressive win in basketball for the Cowboys, but what can you tell me is going on with wrestling and hoops?
Okay, so wrestling had a big meet on Friday night, and it was against Stanford. Stanford is a top 15 team. There are 10 weight classes in a collegiate wrestling match, okay, in one of the full meets. Technically, a meet is the all 10. A match is one of the individuals, but in Oklahoma, we just tend to call them all matches. So I would kind of toggle back and forth. But we wrestled 5 freshmen, including 3 true freshmen out of only 10 weight classes. And Oklahoma State won 8-2, basically. We won 8 weight classes. They won 2 weight classes. The overall score was like 33-7. Cowboys completely dominated. Stanford had 2 of their starters out. They had 2 of their starters hurt, so that does matter. But they had 2 multi-time All-Americans returned for this match who wrestled in the National All-Star match, and 2 Cowboy true freshmen took out 2 All-Americans for Stanford. So it was a very good first duel, and I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to keep coming back, because here in not too awful long, we're going to do a whole cast just on wrestling, just on the rules, so that you understand this a little better when we're talking about it. Okay?
Yeah, so I can understand it better. You know, it's like I see it and I'm like, oh, why did he get 2 points? I don't know. And I said, did he go out of the ring? And somebody's like, it's not a ring. The terminology, the scoring, all of it. Now, were the 2 Cowboys who defeated the All-Americans, were they highly touted, or was that a big surprise?
Oh, no. These guys are very highly touted. They're both world team members of the U20, the under 20 age bracket. Both of them have won world medals. They were the number 3 and number 4 recruits nationally, pound for pound. So these guys were both incredibly highly sought after. Landon Rabidou out of Minnesota, and then D. Lockett out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. So a Stillwater kid, born and raised Stillwater kid. His dream was always wrestle for the Cowboys, and he won the starting spot. And so he got to go out there against a 2-time All-American, and he got the big win. And so there's nothing better than a hometown boy doing good in his first collegiate match as a true freshman against All-American. It was an exciting duel to watch. I can't wait till we get all the videos put together so we can really talk about that. But the Cowboys looked really good early on. Okay, the Cowboys looked really good.
Is there another match this week?
Well, there is what is called the National Duels. So this is an old event that kind of died for a little while. Now they're bringing it back, and it's the top 16 teams in the nation are meeting, and it's going to be in Tulsa at the BOK in Tulsa Saturday and Sunday, and it's for a $1 million purse. The whole total package of the awards is $1 million. The winning team gets $200,000. And then it filters down from there because of Paycom and because of the TV rights and those type of things. So Oklahoma State will have matches Saturday and hopefully Sunday if they win. But you got Iowa, you got Cornell, you got some of the bigger names. Nebraska is going to be there. I mean, UNI, Northern Iowa, who is a big wrestling school. You know, all those Iowa schools are.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the top schools are going to be at this competition. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Kind of an early season hard test for everybody. And I'm excited about it. It's going to be a really good test for our young wrestlers.
That's how good Oklahoma State is, folks, is they just destroyed a top 15 squad in the nation, and then they've got this for an opportunity to win $200,000. But wrestling isn't the only hot thing in Stillwater right now. I looked at the scoreboard. I didn't watch the game, but Oklahoma State destroyed Texas A&M the other night.
Oh, yeah. Men's basketball. Now, let me just real quick, let's talk about women's basketball. The women's basketball team is undefeated. They played 3 games last week. They played Monday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week, won all of those games. They have a game tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. The OSU women's team does this, and I think it's great, where they throw it out there to elementary schools. Hey, we're doing a big event. Come and see campus. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll have a women's basketball game. And then you guys will have hot dogs or whatever. And so there will be thousands of screaming elementary fans there at the match tomorrow, which I think is terrific. It grows your brand. It's good exposure. And you're building that next round of Cowboy/Cowgirl fans. I think it's terrific.
And is it
Even though
mostly
it causes parking problems.
is it mostly schools around Payne County?
Yeah. People will come in, though, sometimes from the Oklahoma City area, the Tulsa area, Bartlesville. But most of them are your Perrys, your Stillwater, your Coyle, Ripley, those types, the smaller schools. Again, they will come in and it's great. A lot of times, schools sometimes will just bring in like their women's basketball team. They don't want their whole elementary to miss school in the morning, so they'll just bring in their girl athletes along, things like that. But a lot of times it's like all of Stillwater 5th grade or something along those lines. And it's absolutely terrific.
That's
And
awesome.
again, the women are playing terrific. Lots of good wins. They start out their schedule a little bit lighter to build that confidence, but they're already playing very well. And women's basketball made the tournament last year, had a good seed. Lots of improvement there. And they're just going to continue that trajectory. So now, just here in the middle, I just want to point something out. Last week you admired my hat, my Oklahoma America hat, because I had some events there, and they donated a hat to me because I had no hats for a while, because of the fires. But I commented on that, and I need your mailing address because Oklahoma America has given me a hat sent to you. And I kind of wanted to be selfish and keep it just as an emergency hat, but I was like, no. I got to send this to my guy. So Ryan, you got an Oklahoma America hat coming to.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah. So give me all of your information right now on the podcast, and we'll.
For everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody can send you stuff.
Sure.
But men's basketball, what was it? 87-63 win over Texas A&M, and good SEC basketball school that's projected to do pretty well. Oklahoma State came out a house of fire and had really even scoring. We didn't have one guy score 50 and then everybody else just chug along. I mean, we had 5 or 6 guys score in double digits, and some of the different guys, normally Roy scores all the points, but you had a nice even spread of point scoring. That's what you need to build the roster. Again, we have several transfers. We have some good freshmen, a couple of international guys that have come in. This is a much improved team. Coach Lutz has really put together a good squad. Again, they play hard, and he understands the defensive ideals that Oklahoma State basketball has had since Eddie Sutton. Years ago, that defense was key. And so they try to start on the defensive end with good defense and then transition to that offense, kind of control the flow of play. They've been able to do that with multiple guards that can handle the ball, multiple guards that can bring the ball down the court, set up the perimeter. I like how they're playing right now. Again, it's a long season, a long way to go, but they're starting out well. I mean, a good win against Auburn in the preseason. It's just preseason, but it still builds confidence. And then to start off with a big win, they played a Tuesday game against ORU and won that one really well. And then this Sunday game, against A&M, the Cowboys really came out, established themselves early, got that defensive pressure, and just controlled the whole basketball game. There was never a time, once it got going, there was never a time when you're thinking, oh no, A&M's about to make a run. You just never felt that. Oklahoma State always had kind of control of that game, and gosh, that's what you want to see at this early time. So I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with how the Cowboys are playing. It's early. Can't get your hopes up too high. But as we all know, as college sport fans, when your football team is not doing so well, you gotta find some hope somewhere. And
Well, no matter what, when you think about tournament time, it's a win over an SEC team. Now, it's not Buzz Williams's Texas A&M team. He went off to Maryland. This is Bucky Buck. It's Bucky's. Bucky's. It's not, but not that Bucky's. It's different.
Well, yeah, not a Beaver.
Right, not a Beaver. It's a Bucky. It is Bucky's Texas A&M Aggies. They actually used to have a quarterback there named Bucky something. He was actually really popular. Yeah, it is something like that. I think he's a running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I was watching it yesterday. That's right, because I was watching the Buccaneers play yesterday. Yeah.
So we don't know how good Texas A&M is, but when you start looking at quality wins, now this is an OSU segment, so I won't go into details about the OU Gonzaga game, except that OU was never in it. Yeah, but it's not going to be a bad loss. You lost to Gonzaga. OSU getting a win over Texas A&M, I don't care if it was Buzz, Bucky, whoever, coaching, that's going to be a good win. That's going to be a good win on your resume.
Well, absolutely. Let's see how Texas A&M does down the stretch. Maybe, if they are a high SEC team, even a top third SEC team, it makes the win look that much better. Even though it's early season, even though it was in Stillwater, it doesn't matter. That W, and that 20 points, more than 20 points is right there. And so I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that.
So speaking of a W is a W, the Oklahoma State Cowboys have another chance at a W. Even though they are hefty underdogs, they will be at home. Pride is something that comes up at this point. What do you think about the Cowboys' chances against Kansas State this weekend?
I think they're going to put out a lot of effort. I think that the Cowboys they don't quit. They're going to keep going. And the sad thing is they're improving. It's hard to see it. It's hard to tell if you don't watch the whole game. Okay. Again, 2 weeks ago, they scored at the end and it was defensive turnovers and special teams and just one or two big mistakes and it just snowballs. Okay. And that's has been the MO all year. And so I'm not predicting a win. Again, K-State's been very Jekyll and Hyde. They've been real hot and cold. And Avery Johnson, where is his head? How does he play that day? If he's not on his game, K-State sputters and stutters. But unfortunately, Oklahoma State has been a team that schools have used to get right.
Right. They find a way to sputter.
Exactly. They find a way to make it happen. They use us as a way to get their legs back under them so they can go on for more wins. Again, I'm not predicting. Again, I can't predict a win. The spread's 19.5, I think, something like that. I'm not sure about the spread being in Stillwater. It's an early game, so you're not going to have a juiced up crowd. With those night kickoffs, people tailgate all day and they're ready to go. Yeah. But I personally, as an old man, I like the 11 o'clock kickoff because I'm hoping to be able to come to the OSU ball game and football game, and then I'm heading to Tulsa for the wrestling.
Nice. I like the 11 o'clock games also because then you have the rest of your day. I mean, right. 11 o'clock, let's make it 8 o'clock in the morning.
I would be there. There. Absolutely. And then that, gives you the rest of the day to watch other football or to do yard work or to whatever.
Do whatever you want.
Shop this time of year, whatever it is. Yeah. But I expect improved play. I think we will get better. I think they're going to do there's going to be some razzmatazz. I think there's going to be a few specialty plays, I think is what they're being called now. But again, at this point, that's what do these guys keep trying? Who wants to be here next year? Who wants to be a Cowboy? Or who wants to show out for whatever team they're going to be at next? Because coaches are watching this, and if they see guys quit, they're not going to recruit them. If they go into the portal, they're not going to get any traction.
That's a great point.
It's a source of pride. It's not just pride. It is a source of pride, but it's not just pride. It's again, you got to look for that next paycheck. This is a pro game now. That next, again, if a coach sees that you quit on this team now, why would I want you on my team? Because if things get rough, I know you're going to quit. And so they won't get recruited. So that's what I'm hoping our coaches are telling the guys. Hey, even if you don't want to be here, we want you here. But even if you don't want to be here, you got to play for that next check. You got to play well so that people will recruit you out of the portal. And I think there's still some high school kids that are still very interested in Oklahoma State that are taking a look see, taking a not only waiting on who the next head coach will be, but also what is the Cowboy culture? Do these guys continue to play? These guys might be some of my teammates if I come to Stillwater next year. So how do they continue to perform? And so I think that's where we are now. It's been a while since Oklahoma State has been in this situation, but I think that's where we are now. You got to play for the name on the front of the jersey, and everybody will remember the name in the back. And so that's what I hope we see.
That's why Chad Weiberg's decision, his imminent decision, is going to be so important. I don't see Oklahoma State as a program that's going to need 5 years to turn this around. I'm a big believer that you should see progress year one, and you should make your move in years 2 and 3. And some of the names that we've heard bandied about, and there will be other videos. So if you're watching this, look down the playlist. There's going to be another video where we're talking about, we've already talked about one USA Today reporter and his prediction for who the coach is going to be. But athletes should want to play for OSU the next 2 or 3 years. When you get that new coach in, especially if, they're more of an offensive coach, it should attract the best offensive players. If it's a defensive mind, great. You get your defensive young guns in. But Oklahoma State is a team that it shouldn't take 5 years to get back to 500, to bowl contention, and then to Big 12 dominance. Last year it was Arizona State. This year it's Texas Tech. Texas Tech looks like a team that could win a national championship this year. They're real good. There's no reason Oklahoma State shouldn't be that at least every other year.
Well, and in the portal world and in the NIL world, sometimes, you have to look at it as a 1-year cycle. And so, if Tech wins the national title this year and then they go 0-12 next year, they're still national champs.
100%. This happens in basketball not all the time, but you'll have like a Virginia win the title 1 year and then not even be in the tournament the next year. That's the way it goes. Now, mind you, if Tech wins the title, that would send ripples down, all of these major programs that aren't Ohio State, that aren't Texas, that are now Mississippi and Missouri and Arizona State and Nebraska no longer have an excuse. If Texas Tech can win it, anybody can win it.
Nowadays, for sure. And it's just Texas Tech played that NIL game better than anybody.
Right.
You had a billionaire step up and go, I'm tired of losing. Here's some cash. Let's go. Well, the problem is not everybody has Texas oil billionaires who are alumni of their school who are willing to do that. And so but you know what? Nebraska should. Missouri should. Every team that you name should have enough money to cobble together a roster to be able to be immediately successful. And honestly, again, if you look at it in a 1-year cycle, which I think we should nowadays, because you could transfer every year if you want, why not go all in on 1 year like Texas Tech did this year?
Right.
Why not do that? And even if you don't win the whole thing, if you win your conference or if you make a whole bunch of money on your TV rights and going deep into the playoffs, you're going to get some of that money back for the next couple of years. And so it's about playing that kind of game now. And so the question is, can Oklahoma State compete NIL wise? Now, we might not have the same budget as Texas Tech or something like that, but it's also about talent recognition. It's about talent evaluation. You got to get the right guys. It doesn't matter how much you pay them, a la Oklahoma State 2024. We kept a whole bunch of players and paid them, and then 3-9. And it wasn't Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon had a great year last year, all things considered. It was everybody else. And so you have to get the right guys, and that comes down to talent evaluation. And that's where I think that toward the end of Gundy's tenure that there was some disconnect between the talent evaluation and the talent acquiring procedures. And there might have been some misses on recruiting, which just 1 or 2 misses if you're paying them big bucks in recruiting, and that could cost you the whole year. And so I think maybe there was some disconnect there. So whomever they bring in has got to get all of that ironed out, and this interim year, get it all ironed out. And again, you got to evaluate talent. You got to look at the portal, but you got to look at high school. I think that right now, this is my own personal opinion, that so many schools are looking at the portal. I think you could start to sneak some of these top high school kids saying, hey, you always have the portal, but why don't you come here, start here, and let's see what we can do here, and let's see what we can get you here, right? Where you don't have to wait, where eventually you will get to that big school or whatever. Let's jump on now. The portal is going to change high school recruiting. Is going to change junior college recruiting, which is another. We need to record a video talking about the effects of the new rule that junior college might not count toward your NCAA clock. And so there, yeah, that just came down. I'm not sure when it's coming into effect, but we need to. I will research that and get all of the information, and let you know, because that came down some information to me last week or so. But Oklahoma State absolutely should be able to compete in the Big 12. Should be able to do that with the facilities, with the backing, with the fan support. I mean, good Lord, just this past week, I can't remember, Barstool or somebody had one of those top fan bases that football team needs to win a natty for. And Oklahoma State was number one because of the fan base that Oklahoma State has. Certainly this year with the shirtless guys and bananas. Oh, at the wrestling and at the basketball, the banana guys were there.
Oh, nice.
And so, it's becoming
Eats peelers. Yeah.
Eats peelers. That's terrific.
Yeah.
So, it's a cultural thing now, but football should be able to compete, should be able to win the conference, and should be able to do better than what they're doing right now. Again, there's all those things. Oklahoma State's in disarray right now. Disarray may be too strong a word, but because of the midst of a coaching search during the season, it kind of throw things off. But yeah, I'm with you. 1 year you compete, 2 years, let's get a conference title. Let's do some of that. And in today's, again, NIL and portal world, it's possible if you talent evaluate, if you talent procure, and then you got to coach them up.
Got to coach them up. Signetti does a great job of that at Indiana. Stoops did that at Oklahoma so well. Oklahoma State has 3 games left. It's time to see who wants to be here next year, or who's auditioning for a promotion to a Michigan or a Florida State or whatever.
Right. That's exactly it. And I don't know. I'm not there. But if I were our coaches, I literally, as a position coach, I would tell my guys, look, here's the deal. This year has not gone how any of us want it. This is terrible. We don't want to do this. However, we're going to be better next year. And if you want to be a part of it, you better show up. Or if you don't want to be here, again, you think a coach is going to take you if you quit? You think, if you don't play, stop running through plays, if you stop, you arm tackle as opposed to put your full body in. No, I hope they're telling them, hey, this is an audition tape, not just for us, but for everybody. And so let's go audition. Let's go strap it on and see what happens against K-State.